Hey guys, welcome to Battle of the Albums. Today we've got two of Nirvana's biggest. We've got Nevermind and In Utero. So how we're going to do this, we're going to go song by song, going through the entire album, comparing each song, and see which album comes out on top at the end. So, bring up the songs here. Now, the first thing I want to say here before we get started is, firstly, these are only my opinions and the way I see it, and everybody out there is going to have their own opinions, so that's cool, so that's that. So we're going track for track as to where they're placed on the album, comparing each track, see which track wins that battle, and then getting an overall winner to which album comes out on top. So you'll see what I mean as we get going here. So let's get started. So first up, it's Smells Like Teen Spirit vs. Serve the Servants. Now for me, this is a really close one. Serve the Servants almost takes it here. I remember the very first time I heard that track. It's the first song that you hear when you put on In Utero. It's a damn awesome track. But for me, Smells Like Teen Spirit just takes it here. Not because it's like their biggest selling song or their biggest hit or anything like that. It really is a great song. And this is a very close one, as many of these songs are on this list, but I'm just going to give this one to Smells Like Teen Spirit here. So, Nevermind goes one up. Next up, we have In Bloom vs. Scentless Apprentice. Now, I'm going to give this one to In Bloom. Totally awesome song. Love the chorus of that song. Such a strong, catchy chorus. Don't get me wrong, Scentless Apprentice, a really good song, really good, heavy, stomping thumper. I think Chris Novoselic called that a thumper of a song one time, or something like that. So I'm going to go with In Bloom here, and that puts Nevermind up 2-0. Next up, now here comes the hard part. Come As You Are vs. Heart-Shaped Box. I'll be straight up with you, for me, this one's really a tie. I mean, how can you put either song over the other one? They are both top 5 Nirvana tracks easily. Both totally legendary songs from the band. It really is a tie in my opinion, but for this video, and the sake of what we're doing here, we've got to have a winner, right? So that being the case, I'm going to go with Come As You Are. Right up there for me as far as Nirvana tracks go. One of their best, and so is Heart-Shaped Box too, as I mentioned before, so tough decision. Now we go on to Breed and Rape Me. Breed, definitely a great song, a really cool intro to that song. It builds up with the drumming and then it just kicks off. But I'm going to give this one to Rape Me. That is such an awesome song, very powerful in its delivery, great vocals on the track. It's just a totally kick-ass Nirvana song, so I'm going with Rape Me here, and that gets In Utero on the board finally, and we're at 3-1 to Nevermind. Next up, we got Lithium vs. Frances Farmer will have her revenge on Seattle. Now, Lithium is one of my top 2 Nirvana songs of all time. One of my absolute favorite Nirvana songs. So, I'm personally going to go with Lithium here on this one. I think that's just a really awesome track. I love the production that this song has on Nevermind. It's just totally blows you away. So really, nothing would have stood up against Lithium for me. Frances Farmer, a great song, as all these tracks are great. But it's going to be Lithium for me on this one. So we are right on the halfway point here of both albums. We've got Polly versus Dumb. Now at first, I put both these songs at a dead heat. But then I went back and looked at it again, and this particular version of Polly with that acoustic guitar that goes out of tune partway through the song, and just Kurt's delivery on the song, that's the version of Polly we're looking at versus Dumb. I gotta go with Polly. Both of the acoustic tracks on Nevermind, actually, Polly and Something in the Way, just add so much to Nevermind. Really help make the album what it is. So at the halfway point of both albums, Nevermind has a pretty big lead here. They're up 5-1, so let's see what happens next. Now, next up, we got Territorial Pissings vs. Very Ape. 2 pretty awesome punk songs here. Again, this one is very close. Very Ape really is such an awesome song. A really cool riff on that track. But Territorial Pissings is just so hard out, especially the version on Nevermind. Kurt just totally blows his voice out at the end. And this one was really always really awesome live as well. Check it out on the Jonathan Ross show when they did that way back in the day. So I'm going to go with Territorial Pissings here. Now, next up, we got Drain You vs. Milk It. Drain You, of course, a staple in Nirvana's live set list. A fine track, however, I would go with Milk It on this one. There's just a bit more to it. It's heavy as heck, sounds great, and that's going to keep In Utero in the game, notches up their second victory, so we're now at 6-2. Lounge Act vs. Penny Royalty. Well, I went over this one, and for a start, I had Lounge Act coming out on top, but then I just love the production that Steve Albini did here with Penny Royalty. It's an electric heavy version of the song, but then you've got those quieter moments that drop in with the acoustic guitar and just Kurt's voice. So you got a good dynamic going on there with this song. This was actually another really tough one to choose between. Again, it's pretty much another tie with these two songs. Really do like the Lounge Act track, starting off with that smooth bass line, and it's just a real cool, catchy song, and it sounds great on Nevermind. But overall, in the scheme of things, I guess Penny Royalty, that is a bigger song. It was going to be a single from In Utero, and they were even going to make a music video for it, but that didn't end up happening. But it is certainly a big track off In Utero. And as I say, just with the production that they did on the song for In Utero, totally awesome. So I'm going to go with Penny Royalty here. And that's 6-3, and In Utero is still in it. And now we come to track 10 on both albums. It is Stay Away versus Radio Friendly Unit Shifter. Stay Away, a very cool song, no doubt about that. Fits very well onto Nevermind. However, gotta go with Radio Friendly Unit Shifter. Believe this is the superior song here. It's a really great song. One of the top tracks from In Utero, actually, in my opinion. Great live. Check it out on MTV Live and Loud when Nirvana played it in 1993. Always performed this song live great, and this one's going to peg back one for In Utero. So 6-4, we've got 2 songs to go, and we're up to On a Plane vs. Tourette's. On a Plane, very good song, very good lyrically as well. A very awesome performance on Nirvana Unplugged in New York as well of the song. However, how can you go past Tourette's? It's over in like a minute and a half. Totally punk, totally fun, totally awesome. You cannot understand what the heck Kurt is screaming about. It's just totally rockin', totally awesome live. Just a hard out song. And we're at 6-5 here in favor of Nevermind, but In Utero has clawed back admirably, and it all comes down to this final track. Now, initially I had these 2 tracks being at a dead heat as well. I just couldn't pull them apart. Something in the Way, simple yet brilliant. Again, Kurt on that acoustic guitar. It just sounds so awesome. You've got the cello in there as well. Something in the Way, haunting, beautiful song. You just can't go past it, but how can you go past All Apologies either? Very intricate, amazing song from Nirvana. Really had a hard time pulling these 2 tracks apart. I guess in the end, All Apologies has just got a bit more going on with it. There's just a bit more to that track in terms of instrumentation and stuff like that. Very strong lyrically, again, is All Apologies. Again, pretty much a dead heat with these 2 Nirvana classics, but I'm gonna give the nod by an absolute whisker to All Apologies, and that's gonna bring it up to 6 apiece, so a total dead heat. So in the end, with the track-by-track comparison, just couldn't find a definitive winner there. If I was to take it to the next step and give my own overall personal opinion, I guess I would give the nod just by an absolute whisker to... That's right, that's how I see it. Just giving it to Nevermind in the end by an absolute fraction. Splitting up the tiebreaker. But believe me, it is pretty much a dead heat, as you can just see here by this track-by-track comparison, in my opinion anyway. Nevermind, very strong for the first part of that album, but In Utero really clawed it back on the second half of that album, so it really just evened out in the end. So even though I gave the nod to Nevermind, I think it's no coincidence that the track-by-track comparison came out as a tie. In a lot of ways, that's how I see these two albums. Both great. They are both very different. They are both recorded very differently. Nevermind is the radio-friendly, clean, slick, produced sound, as Kurt Cobain would say it himself. And In Utero is just the complete opposite, a total reaction to Nevermind by Nirvana. They just went in the complete opposite way, totally heavy, muddy sound. Both albums just absolutely brilliant in my opinion. You can put on either one and you will not be disappointed. Picking some of these tracks and which ones came out on top was almost impossible at times. A lot of the tracks just so evenly matched. Both of these albums so evenly matched as well, and that reflected in the 6-all scoreline that we got in the end. But the great thing is these albums are just so different. It's like, depends what you want to listen to on that day. If you want to go for the more clean, slick, produced sound, you got Nevermind. You want to go for something a bit heavier, dirtier, grungier, you've got In Utero. So that's what I came up with, guys. How did you guys score it? Leave all that info in the comment section below. Which album comes out ahead for you? What's your favorite? I want to say thanks, guys, for tuning in. This has been a ton of fun comparing these two great Nirvana albums. And that's how it all went down. So cheers, guys, and we'll catch you next time. So how the heck am I supposed to tell which album out of these two is better? Oh well, Nevermind here. Got the tracks, yeah. In Utero. Got the tracks there. Oh crap. Maybe it is time I should upgrade to CDs.